Don't miss out on the exclusive limited edition You Gon' Know Me t-shirts. That's right, You Gon' Know Me t-shirts are now available. Be sure to reach out to J-Dub the King to secure your very own t-shirt today. You can contact J-Dub the King via social media at J-Dub the King or through email at jdubtheking@gmail.com. But that's not all. While you're at it, make sure to keep up the hype by streaming the hit single You Gon' Know Me by J-Dub the King featuring Yuckmouth and Drew on all major digital platforms. Let's keep the momentum going. Brace yourself, sports and music fans, because every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Arizona time is go time. Introducing one of the hottest, most entertaining, and downright addictive podcasts you'll ever need. PD&J was good today. Hosted by none other than J-Dub the King and Pocket. These two dynamic personalities will keep you on the edge of your seat with their unique blend of humor, storytelling, and knowledge of sports and entertainment. And you know what makes it even better? They're live on YouTube and Facebook, so you can join the conversation and be a part of the action. We're always on the lookout for awesome guests to join us on the show. So if you think you've got what it takes to hang out with J-Dub the King and Pocket, then slide into our inbox at J-Dub the King. That's JDUBBTHAKING. And let's make some magic together. So what are you waiting for? You don't want to miss a single episode. See you on Wednesday.
What's good, folks? How you doing? If y'all only knew what just happened. What's good, folks? Welcome to a brand new week, a brand new Wednesday. You know what it means. It's a brand new episode of PD&J. What's good today? I'm your host, Jay. I'm your host, Pocket, y'all. If y'all could have saw what just happened, I'm sorry. Oh, man, oh, boy. You know what? It's a great week. It's a good episode. We got planned for y'all. You know, something off the Hilton that I want to. Is it a good episode? It's always a good episode. It gets gooder and gooder. That's my lingo for the day. It's good and good. I got to say proper all the goddamn. I got to say proper every damn day, all day, 26/7, 27/7, 24/7, 7/11, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cash rules everything around me. Cream. Dollar bill. Yo. Oh, sorry. You own one. But I want to, you know what? What I do want to talk about right now, I want to get it off my chest because it's been bugging me. I didn't talk to you about it because it is this WNBA story, but not the one y'all think about. It's the one that led to what happened. The one that the fact that she elbowed the girl first. She was talking crap to her on the other end first. It provoked her. Do we have to go here? That, and then the fact that I'm so glad they downgraded the Bayou Barbies double tech to a single tech. I'm glad about that. Shout out Mike, and Trulu. Shout out to you both. I had to bring that up. But you know what the best thing about it is? It only got 5 seconds of fame. What? It's Monica McNutt's statement on Monday to Stephen A. Smith. I was watching that whole thing. And here's the thing about it. She was so right. I'm going to tell you like this. I'm going to tell you straight exactly how I feel about this. We're going to be straight or straight. Exactly how I feel about this whole situation. We're going straight now. We're going straight. Take it to the streets. I got to side with Angel Reese. She had an interview. Not an interview, but they were asking her questions, and she came out and said straight up, people come to see her too. People come to see other players, such as Diana Taurasi, Brittany Griner, Brianna Stewart, Angel Reese. I can keep going and I can keep going. So this whole narrative that they keep pushing Caitlin Clark in front to be the face of their league and this, that, and the third, I don't like it. Okay, I'm going to ask you a couple questions here. LA Sparks in LA. Have they ever packed the house more than Lakers?
I don't think any female WNBA team
That's where
has
you're wrong.
packed the house the way an NBA team has.
That's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong.
Now,
this year alone, when they played Caitlin Clark's team, they outsold the Lakers.
They did, but how many people actually showed up?
What are you talking about? The place was packed. It wasn't how many people showed up. The place was packed. That was talking about who was in their butts and seats, not how many tickets were sold. Butts and seats, full arena to the brim, highest attendance ever.
Okay,
and that's
so
it.
I'm
not done.
I understand why you use it as a propaganda tool. I can understand the propaganda.
I'm not using it as a propaganda. What I'm trying to say is, yes, people come to see the players all the time, but they don't pack the stadium like they do.
But the way that Angel Reese and other players feel, and I can understand it based off what I've seen I've been actually following this year's WNBA series, right, or season so far, right?
Stay corrected. We follow it every year.
We do, but I've actually
this year is more interesting.
It's becoming more interesting because there's a lot
more talent,
more of a pool of talent that's being played. Like what Chicago Sky did in their drafting Angel Reese and Camilla. Great.
Well, the thing is, Camilla just got.
She just started getting onto the court and everything like that. But that's something that they're not talking about either. Chicago Sky, based off their draft picks, have sold more season tickets. They got more season holder tickets this WNBA season. A lot of teams do. A lot of WNBA teams do, right? So with this whole and going back to what I was trying to say with Angel Reese, and I kind of back her sentiments on this. Stop asking me about Caitlin Clark in situations that don't have to deal with Caitlin Clark. You understand what I'm saying? I like what old girl said though. She had press conference straight up. Well, why did you hip check her? Don't ask me no questions about Caitlin Clark. Okay, let's move on. Like NBA, like the WNBA is a different league, and like you said, she's been jaw jacking, right? Ever since college, that's been her.
That's her thing.
That's
how she gets. That's how she gets herself going.
But and as far as the jaw jacking go, I have nothing against that. I don't. Why? It's part of the game. Men do it all the time. So
unless you do it where a ref can see it.
That part. That's true too.
And you're the Bayou Barbie.
That's true too. But why can't a woman do it? That's all I'm saying. It's not ladylike.
Well, the whole thing is, there's double standards with women's boxing. Everything.
Exactly.
So don't even.
I get that. Go there. My whole thing about it though, Caitlin Clark is now in the league. You're playing with grown women. Don't come for me unless I send for you. So all this jabber-jocking.
But what's funny to me, her team don't even have her back.
They don't. The GM does. The GM is all in.
So
the GM is all in on Caitlin Clark.
So now you know what the GM has to do. She now has to get rid of everybody on that team and
build around Caitlin Clark.
No, not build around her. Build them to protect their Barbie. Build them to protect and their Iowa barn burner. They have to protect her because ain't nobody. Every time she gets hit, her team just comes over, picks her up off the ground, looks at her. Are you okay? Nobody sits there. I'll take you one back. I'll take you one back.
But that's
2 years ago. Wait. Hold up. Let's bring this up because she just retired. One of the greatest WNBA players of all time, Candace Parker. Okay. She just retired. Let's go back to her rookie season. What the hell did they do to her?
They hammered her.
They not only knocked her down. They tried to do that.
The same thing they do to Aja Wilson right now. Not as hard.
Well, then
go back, Lisa Leslie. When the league first started, swoops. Okay, I see where you're going. Yeah, okay.
And I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about how these women would
play the game. Yeah,
they got hit hard, hit the floor.
They were playing harder than men at that time.
And guess what happened? Their teammates jumped. Hey, whoa! It was like the Pistons Pacers all over again. From the early '90s, from the late '90s.
Bad boy Pistons back in the '80s.
Pistons, where remember Ron Artest going into the state.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Same thing. The '80s and the early '90s. The bad boy Pistons, the Celtics with Pistons with Bill Laimbeer, Celtics with Parrish and all of them. So the women are. This is what's happening. This draft for the women is just like the
The
draft
biggest
of '84.
It's the biggest
For
draft
men.
of the WNBA history.
Is that right? Yeah, that's right. '84 when Jordan came out. It was 84 or 85.
85.
85?
Actually, hold on. I think it was 83. Jordan coming into the league. Was it?
I thought it was
83?
84. I thought it was the '84 draft. Let's just look up 1984 NBA draft.
Go ahead.
But it just this draft is equivalent to what happened to men's basketball when it started taking off. Women's basketball now is at a platform that the revenues that they're bringing in now.
You're
now
right.
makes
84.
Okay, that's what I thought.
84. He was drafted.
Yep.
And with the 1984 draft,
Give them an idea.
this did include Akeem Olajuwon as the first pick, Michael Jordan,
The third pick.
Charles Barkley, John Stockton, just to name a few. That was that draft class.
Now, why is that equivalent to the '84 draft? Because the women's college basketball is one of the most watched programs this year ever. I think it actually outdid the men this year, if I'm not wrong.
It did.
I think it did.
It did. It did.
Saying that, now look at WNBA draft. The most watched WNBA draft ever in WNBA draft history. Now, and you know what, Mike? And this is. I'm glad you admit that. I'm glad you admit that. I don't know nothing about this one. Not a lot of us men do because we listen to the narrative and don't watch it. Me and Jay, we go to games. We take our family to games and have a ball and watch these women ball out. They ball harder than the men because they know number one, they know they're there because of us and for us.
Now, here's the thing. Part of the reason why I also support the league, and I've never disclosed this to you, I have a cousin that works for the league.
Oh, you told me, yeah.
She works for a team. I'm not going to mention the team, but she works for a WNBA team. And she came up playing basketball. We all came up playing basketball together, right? Unfortunately, injuries have hindered from certain opportunities, if that makes sense, right? She found another light in the same field, if that makes sense, right? And she's thriving. She's a doctor for a WNBA team. I'm so proud of
That
her.
says a lot.
She is a doctor of a WNBA team. So, and before she even got into the league herself, like you said, we was following the league. It's just a different beast. It's a different beast. Now, it's funny that you bring that up. Let's talk about pay. Angel Reese, or not Angel Reese, I'm sorry. Caitlin Clark, #1 draft pick.
$28 million highest revenue contract for any WNBA player. And everybody got mad. I didn't.
So they're also saying that old girl broke some 60-year record that was held in by the men. Now, are you talking about Caitlin Clark?
Yeah, I think you're talking about that scoring record.
The scoring record.
College, yeah.
Here's the thing with the scoring record. Back in 2018, 2019, they included women's WNBA basketball with all of basketball stats, kind of like what they just recently did with the MLB. About damn time. Sorry, I just got to say, MLB, about damn time.
We hit on that a little bit last week, but yeah.
About damn time.
And what's funny, a lot of records are falling down.
Falling.
Because they're like, oh, man, so-and-so has the best batting average, so-and-so has the most this, that, and other. But, the focus right now, we're talking WNBA, how they're including the stats.
So that record was, here's the caveat about it. It was primarily the WNBA stats that they gave you when she broke that record, right? Come to find out, did she beat a male NCAA player? Yeah, she did. But she's the greatest female three-point shooter I've ever seen in my life. I'll give her that. She is the greatest female three-point shooter that I have ever seen.
In college.
I think she will be the greatest female WNBA three-point shooter.
We'll see. I'm going to wait till next year when she gets a year under her belt goes off, starts doing because you remember what I think's right have now with these rookies. They have been playing nonstop. They don't get a break anytime soon. Indiana, they were talking about the Fever anyway. Their schedule, they had the worst schedule. That's why they're 2-9 or 2-10 because they played the most games in the WNBA period by like 5 games because of how the schedule broke down because of the Olympics that's coming. What's going to happen next year when they have that? Oh, and there's another thing coming. There's another. I don't know if you read this. I've got to send it to you. They're having another women's league started. That's been another women's competitive 3-on-3 league. It's going to be a 3-on-3 league here in the States to compensate for the fact that the WNBA is saying now they don't want the women because of what happened to Brittany Griner. They don't want the women going overseas. We got to compensate them better. So there's going to be another league started with a bunch of athletes, men and women. It's going to be a 3-on-3 league with, I think, 7 or 8 teams that are all in, and then a bunch of investors to help support that narrative.
I don't like that.
I do.
I don't like that.
I do because what they're saying.
Here's the reason why I don't like that. Right? Ice Cube petitioned that same exact idea for the Big Three, and nobody jumped on it. Nobody wanted to. They said it was too high risk. This, that, and the third. 3 out of the 7 investors that are investing into what you're talking about had the opportunity to invest with Ice Cube, and they didn't.
True, thank you. We have to give her flowers, man, straight up. That's exactly right. Now, I didn't want to cut you off, but that came up, and that's what I'm focused. That's my focus right there. You want to look at it from the fact that a black man brought it up, this, that, and other. I'm not looking.
I didn't bring up race. I just simply said that I expect that Ice Cube, he has the Big Three.
Yeah, he has the Big Three. But here's the thing.
Expand the Big Three into that industry.
Here's the thing with the Big Three. What people are finding out when people get hurt in the Big Three, they're on their own. Who's his insurance backer? That's the problem. It's not about the money. It's about other aspects of the game. It's about other things that people don't think about. Y'all always want to look at. And this is as a whole how we all look at things. Well, so-and-so was trying to do that, and nobody supported it. There's a reason why they wouldn't support it. It's not because it was Ice Cube.
So let me ask you a question. Staying on that topic. And this is an honest, opinionated question, right?
And the thing is, I don't think how it works the tiers with the Big Three.
I get where you're going, and that's why I want to ask you this question. Knowing Ice Cube's pedigree, knowing his history, knowing that he's in litigation over getting his own rights. Hold on that comment real quick. Litigation in regards to the rights of the Friday movie. He's had his issues with certain licensing and agreements and certain things with the Big Three that we know of, right? Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, he's looked into everything that you said as far as insurance, different things of that nature. Do you think because of everything that Ice Cube has been dealing with and that supposed reputation that he has, that people don't want to deal with him on the business aspect that way?
Here's what I'm going to tell you. I was hoping you would bring this up, but you didn't. It has nothing to stem with Ice Cream the Man. It has to stem from NWA. Think about it. What was their number one
Fuck
hit?
The Police.
Thank you. That's what it has to stem from. That was a lasting stain. And they were warned before they did that song. That's going to be a stain on your legacies no matter what you do in life. Did they believe him?
Certain people look at it as this. Well,
certain people.
I didn't want to go there. I didn't want to go there.
Certain
I
people.
did not want to bring this up, but you kind of brought it up. Like, it's the double standard in this country is becoming unbearable. Now, I know we started talking about Clayton Carton. We done went off on a whole nother subject.
Well, no, it all ties in together.
Let me explain to you why I say this, right? Given what you just said, right? Given the legacy of that song to certain people, to certain cultures, to certain groups.
Okay, no.
It stood for something. Let me finish my thought before I lose it. It stood for something, right? To other people, to other cultures, other genres, it's like it's a stain, like you said, right, on his legacy.
To other cultures.
To other cultures, right?
How about not culture? To the pockets that matter.
Okay, for the sake of argument, let's even go that route.
It's
right?
the pockets that matter. Because
all right, so stay on that train, right? I didn't want to bring this up, but it kind of ties in. There's certain people that's put in positions that shouldn't even be there. And I hate to bring it up like this because we both feel we can agree to disagree on this type of situation here, but facts are facts. You got a convicted felon running for president right now.
You have convicted felons that are senators. You have convicted felons that are House of Reps. You have convicted felons all over the place. So the saying y'all want to,
but the double standard that comes with that, though, right? Standard? Okay, so the stain, right? Let's back to Ice Cube. The stain of "Fuck the Police," that record that he wrote. He didn't produce it, but he wrote it, and everything came out with it. A lot of people said, "Stain your legacy" in that way. Kind of followed him in the trajectory. Like if we go in the example of what you gave
in entertainment,
it kind of stained them, right? But it's okay for another person to do the exact same thing in a different light, but the exact same thing.
How is it?
And be rewarded.
Wait, how is the same thing?
Okay.
So the other person said "fuck the police" too.
A lot of people say "fuck the police."
No. We want to say
I can bring up a country song.
Not, see, stop right there. I'm not talking about a lot of people. You brought up Donald Trump, so we're going to stay there with Donald Trump. Did he say "fuck the police"?
In more ways than one, yes, in my opinion.
But okay, now I'm going to say so. But the whole thing is, didn't y'all say that? Wait a minute. He gave the police more power. So if he gave the police more power, why did he say "fuck the police"?
Now, when we go to police versus sheriff in the Constitution, which Donald Trump wants to stick highly on, when you look at the Constitution, and people look this up, the sheriffs have more jurisdiction based off the Constitution. Sheriffs have more jurisdiction, more power.
The state has more power than the city. That's right.
Your city police, right?
That's how it's built.
So,
who has more over the state? Who has more power?
Hold on, we had comments coming in. I'm sorry. Let's go back. So they're also saying, okay, we read that one. We have to give her. We read that one. Okay.
We have to look at the background on that too, because basically they tried to blackball Ice Cube from being successful in that field, so he's just not insured all kinds of other things.
That was the point that I was trying to get.
I already brought up the reasoning behind that is off of the "fuck the police," because what happened was everything that happened since then. Go back and look at the history of that song. They were warned before recording that album. If you do this, it's going to stain each and every one of your legacies, no matter what you do from here point out, regardless if it's a hit. Regardless if people love the song, it's going to stain your legacies. Does anybody want to deny that?
I kind of want to disagree with you on that aspect.
Okay, so it is stain your legacies.
Here's the reason why I say I want to disagree with you in the lane of the entertainment field, right? He crossed over from music into film. The biggest thing that he has entertainment wise outside of music is what? Friday.
Right, but who's Friday appealed to?
He wants the rights to that. Universal doesn't want to give him the rights. It doesn't matter how much he's offering to pay. They don't want to release. So going into what you said as far as that staining his legacy, I think him fighting and understanding the entertainment business more now than what he did when he came out with that NWA track. And now that he wants Friday and rights to Are We There Yet and everything else like that, I think that right there is more so of the blackball and the stain than him putting out that record.
No,
that's just my.
Because here's another thing. In case y'all didn't know, he actually tried to
typos. Okay, no problem. I got you. They blocked him out where they could.
Yeah. Thank you. That's exactly what I'm getting to.
Amen. But we ought to be able to tell the truth too, because the whole police department was based on the recovery of runaway slaves.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at as far as like with the Constitution versus sheriffs and police.
Well, see, you know what I mean? But the whole thing, police were sheriffs. The police department, yes. Sheriffs weren't. What was sheriffs built off of doing? You want to talk about the police department? This is why the sheriffs have more power than police.
They created the police department to enslave runaway slaves,
Right.
Because the sheriff's department didn't have enough power.
The sheriffs had enough power. They refused.
Manpower. They didn't have enough manpower.
The sheriffs refused to take any part in anything to do with slaves. Because guess what they did?
Show me that. Please show me
guess
that.
who's the number one sheriff? The number one sheriff ever. They built a show called The Long Ranger off of.
Okay, hold on. No, you can't. You can't be a convicted felon by a senator or Congress. I looked that up, but presidency.
Look up Marion Barrett. He was convicted for cocaine possession. He ran for mayor,
but he got that expunged.
No, he didn't. Because think about it. They set the sting to catch him. He didn't get it expunged. It was never expunged.
Hey man, cut his feelings some slack. Man, city police have one job: collect revenue from the violations of so-called crimes and infractions. Period.
And infractions.
And my thing about it, it's an extortion ring. Your local city police department is an extortion ring.
Say it right.
It's a scam.
It's a government regulated extortion. There you go.
Okay, I get that.
You gotta say it right. A government regulated.
Not only that, cute publicity, but these sort of Mr. Farrakhan. Yep.
Well, Mr. Farrakhan,
I have no problem with Mr. Farrakhan.
I do because of some things that I can't even say it. I can't even say it. Never mind. I can't say it.
The Sheriff Department backs their Constitution is really an arm for the federal government and federal law. Boss Reed.
Bass Reed is Bass Reed.
Yep.
He knew exactly what I was talking about. That's why I said the sheriff's department, they were hiring black people left and right to do the jobs they need to get done. And when it came to barring slaves, they gave them jobs. We want you to go hunt criminals everywhere. You know what people in the South did when they saw a black man with a badge? Oh, shit.
The same thing we do now. Run.
Run, nigga.
So, hey, this is what I want to talk about. Wait, the cat. Shut up, Pocket. I'm not even paying attention. So this is what I want to talk about, right? While we got y'all attention real quick, I want to talk about something a little bit serious. Hold on. Danbury classification while they already in office. And not everybody over here black came out of slavery. There were a lot of Moors that were never into slavery.
And were smart. They were smart, legitimately smart, and knew where to be and where not to be.
Hey, and the sad story about it is that there's some reports that's out there that I hope get disproven. I hope to God it gets disproven. But they said that Moors had slaves.
Oh, that's actually.
I hope they can disprove.
How are they going to disprove it when they actually have picture evidence of them owning slaves?
Picture could be doctored. Any type of picture.
Okay, there you go. So you want your evidence? I gave you evidence. What do you say? Oh, that could be doctored. But on the back end, if it's the other way around, no, that's true.
I hope it's not true. I hope it's not.
I mean, you got to remember. Go back to Africa. Black people were owning black people back there and selling them into slavery. So what's to make you think that it shouldn't have happened here?
And the whole thing is kicked off as a black on black more than a war. So here's what I want to talk about. Louisiana.
This is my favorite topic. So that I sent this to him, but I was like, oh my God. And he did a little bit more research, y'all. He gonna about to tell you what y'all gonna do right now.
Louisiana.
It ain't just Mardi Gras.
I don't know if I want to applaud you. I don't know if I want to strangle you.
Well, I don't know if I want to castrate you.
And we're back.
All right, Louisiana. Let's get to it before we lose our.
Oh, we're not going to lose. They're going to tune in for this one. So,
not talking about
it. So Louisiana passed a new law that goes into effect on August 1st of this year.
You didn't do it right. Go back. It goes into effect. Forgot that. We'll explain why.
It's good. I think it's going to get appealed.
The official law.
Shut up. Shut up, Pocky. Shut up. So here's what happened. The state of Louisiana passed a law that states if you are a convicted sex offender of a child, so basically, if you're a child molester, you will do a prison sentence, but you will also be chemically castrated, meaning you got to take the pill and your nuts go bye-bye. Not only does that apply for men, but that also applies for women too.
They burn out your ovaries.
So, and the reason why I brought it up that it goes into effect August 1st is that there's some people that want to appeal this law. They say it's against your eighth Amendment right. Crazy part about it, though, they want to make it a law in 2024, but the state of Louisiana has been chemically castrating folks since 2008.
Make it make sense. Make it make sense. So you want to make it an official law now. Official law.
Now, don't get me wrong. You ain't supposed to touch no babies. You're not. Now, states in New York, Florida, Texas, and I think one other state, they practice the same thing. I don't know if it's laws in their states or not, but they practice the same thing. But you've been doing this since 2008. Now you want to make it a law.
So let's make it make sense. You mentioned the states that practice it. And you said, do they make it a law? I hate to tell you, when you're a property of a state,
you can refuse
anything you want.
You can refuse. You cannot show up to that appointment. You can refuse to get it. You can do all that. They just going to put an extra 3 to 5 years on your time, though.
And that's kindly putting it. They can put 10, 15, whatever they want because you refuse. But the thing is, you are property of the state. I go back to that again. I'll say it one more. You are property of the state. So whatever kind of experimentation that's been going on. Now, we know experimentation among certain animal walks of life have happened for years. Don't think it stopped, y'all. Don't be stupid. That's all we're saying. Don't be stupid. The fact that it came out that, they've been doing it since 2008, meaning it's been working. Obviously, it's going to work. What you want to do? They had enough, what is that, 15, 16 years? That's 16 years of research to come across and say, this is actually working. Let's make it official.
Here's the thing that I have against it. If you're a sexual predator, don't castrate. Don't. Leave him be. What I want to see happen, right? And I'm going to leave it like this. And if you don't believe me, look this up. America, the United States of America, has the rights to so much land, to so many private islands, to so many different geological located different things, right? They have the rights to it. They own it, documented on paper.
I'm just waiting for you to get to the point. Like, yeah.
Put them on their own goddamn island. No. Let them kill and fuck themselves.
Who's gonna pay for that? The transportation.
I would rather pay for that than pay for them to eat, sleep, and shit in a cell.
Either way, they still got to pay for that there because they got to eat, sleep, and shit anyway. So
no, they don't. They got to live off the land.
But who owns that island? You just said the country. The country has to maintain the land for them.
If you can't maintain that land for the state, you don't need to live. Like what they did in the movie Life, right? The motherfuckers had to maintain the plantations. Their sentence was maintaining the plantations, right? If you can't do that for the state, no. Fuck no.
Nope, I'm still with the castration. My only thing is, let the family of the child do it.
It's a pill, so they ain't gonna do it. It's a chemical castration. They gotta take a pill that's supposedly supposed to block their testosterone. You know what I mean? For women,
wait a minute. Is that where they got the them they from?
Yeah.
They was getting them chemical pills?
Exactly.
Ooh, them pills, they good.
No, hold on. So stop the cap. You know the government gonna try to figure out a way to make the taxpayers.
We already do. Matt, you mentioned that word tax. Do we want? I forgot about that. That's a subject, not right now. But
it's funny that you bring that up because I was just talking to my wife the other day. She didn't realize that prisons were private institutions. She thought they were state funded. No, they're private institutions. Yeah. She was all like, but they get government funding through private grants.
Yes, that's not no. That's why people always say you have too much money in private sector and not enough in the public sector, i.e. schools and things like that. Because of that, they put more money in that private sector because that money keeps coming. In school, as you move along, whatever happened, it goes like this. Because you need more in elementary school than you do high school, regardless of what y'all may think. The parents and everybody pay for more as the child gets older. The state pays for everything when the child's younger. And as they go up, it shrinks. The tax dollars shrink. So no, they know that in the private sector, no matter what, if you're doing 15 years, that's 15 years of $1,000 a month.
$1,000 a month, try $1,000 a day. Like even in county jail, when you do days,
I don't pay $1,000 a day. I'm talking about from our aspect. $1,000 a month.
No, I'm talking about from how much the private sector of the prison makes off of each prisoner is a minimum of $1,000 a day. Put it like this: when I was in county jail, they give you it's a program called, Days for Dollars, right? So you prepay. So let me break it down. Let's say you got a fine for like $2,500 and you can't pay it, right? You know you can't pay this $2,500, right? So what they'll do is they'll say, hey, you do 10 days, we'll give you credit for $1,000 worth of that. You know what I mean? So you break that 10 days down by $1,000, that's what? $100 a day? Up to $200, some jails $300 a day. That's how much they make off of each prisoner. Period. I don't know how to explain it any better. So when you're dealing with a private institution, you can imagine how much money they get.
They make a deal with you, and on the back end they get 4, 5, 6, 7, even 10 times that amount.
You're right. Absolutely.
Well, you got to show them the previous comment, though. You can't just do that. True, I saw that come through, and I just started laughing on the inside, and I didn't want to. You're right. He would roll his eyes when he saw it.
They get away with it. And then when it doesn't work in their favor, they want to change the law to make it work in their favor.
Whatever you do realize.
I hate that shit. Like, that's the double standard.
I don't think it's a double standard.
You don't think?
So the
average American.
A double standard is when you have something and it's working, and you realize how well it's working, then you come back and do the same thing again for more. That's a double standard.
So you don't think a double standard is this? Back in the 80s, right? We know the story. Government
What story?
We know the government came into the inner cities and flooded them with drugs, crack being the main one, and all this other shit.
Drugs.
Drugs.
You think that happened in just the 80s?
Well, I'm just using that as an example.
Okay,
follow
go ahead.
Yeah, so follow me.
Okay, let's just say crack, because that's what I think.
As far as the 80s, that's what I like. We know the stories about back in the 60s and 70s, but 80s is what I can relate to because I'm an 80s baby. So, government comes in, floods the streets with crack, right? Fast forward to today's time. When we were, let's go back. Staying there in the crack pandemic, we were screaming for help, right? The inner city was screaming like, we need help. We need resources. We need programs. We need to get off of this, Fast forward, right?
Methadone clinics.
And the only reason why they came out with methadone clinics is because it impacted who? It didn't impact the inner city. They didn't care about the inner city.
So you get the suburban areas.
And politicians, their kids. Once it affected y'all, now, it's a disease. We got to give them help. Let's get all the resources. Come on, man. That's the double standard.
That's not a double standard.
You don't think, to me, that is a double standard. Because if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander.
But the whole thing is, you just said there was nothing going on. A double standard means there was something going on, and then they realized,
so the crack
let's get more out of this than we could.
So the crack pandemic wasn't nothing going on? In your opinion, you don't think that was a serious enough problem to get inner city help? Now, keep in mind, I didn't bring in race. Let's bring race into it.
No, you didn't even have to do that because
there were white people in the inner city that got strung out on crack as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody gave.
But the whole thing is, you just said bringing crack in and then bringing the methadone clinic is a double standard. How is that a double standard?
Because you wouldn't have brought the methadone clinics in if it didn't impact the suburbs. If it didn't impact the politicians and their kids.
You're talking about the impact. The impact has nothing to do with the double standard.
To me, it does.
How is it a double standard? You're not explaining to me.
Okay, so at the end of the day, it's a double standard to me, in my opinion. If you know that there's a problem here, but you don't do anything about it because it's not affecting you. But the moment that it affects you, your crowd, your people, your community, now you want to do something about it? That to me is a double standard. How? Because why didn't you do anything back then when the people were crying that this is a problem?
But how is it a double standard? You're not making sense.
Okay, so to you, what's a double standard?
I explained to you what a double standard is.
Explain it to me again.
You're not listening. When you're doing something that is or is not working, you continue to do that. You realize, I can maximize this and make more.
I don't agree with that part. That's where we disagree with it. Because to me, a double standard is if there's something going on here and it's impactful and you can do something about it, but you choose not to until it affects you. Or like Trulu brought up with the politicians, right? They get away with murder. The average citizen, the average American does the same thing. Oh, they're in prison 10, 15 years. But the moment a politician does it and can't get away with it, they want to change the law. How is that not a double standard? Sorry, Pocket, this is not a double. That's not. So other people agree with me. As far as your opinion of what a double standard is. Man, leave race out of shit. You know, second that you say the word race, anything that's referred to race. Correct. Present question, where you find it could be underlining common denominator.
Present question, so we have to find what could be this.
So present question, what is a double standard, right? Present question. So he's answering where you have to find what could be the underlying common denominator.
The common denominator is there was no help until it affected somebody. That is not a double standard.
A lot of people would disagree with you on that.
I'm looking at a set of principles that applies differently and usually more rigorously to one group of people or circumstances than to another.
And that's kind of
no, it's not kind of.
It's piggybacking off what I said. If it's applying to one sector and not the other, how is that not a double standard? That's what you just said, right? Going back to where was you at when that example? Here we go. I'm talking about
on the difference of treatment.
Okay.
That's what it is. A difference of treatment. Yes, that's definitely.
So a difference of treatment can't be a double standard?
A difference of treatment comes into the fact where, okay, it can be a double standard, but not what you're saying is a double standard. What I'm saying, a difference of treatment comes to be a double standard is if we both go into a store.
Okay.
I'm dressed homelessly.
Okay.
And I brought this up with this happened to J. Cole recently. I'm dressed homelessly. You're dressed just like you are.
Mm-hmm.
They ignore me completely, right? Don't even acknowledge me.
Mm-hmm.
They come to you, asking you what you need.
Mm-hmm.
They have security follow me around because I look homeless. But then guess what happened? They turn your back.
I'm still instead of you. Okay.
Exactly. I got a bag full of cash.
Okay. You know what that is to me? My opinion, that's more of a stereotype than a double standard.
But then that's what you described, though.
How is that different? Like, how is that not different when you have? So you mean to tell me, okay,
a stereotype can be a double standard. Yes, it can. But not in every case it is. And we all know that.
So you mean to tell me, just so we're clear, because
and I use that with the same color. Now let's take it to a color.
No, let's not even use color. Let's just use circumstances, right? If I get convicted of fraud 34 times, I'm going to prison.
Are you?
Depending on how much fraud, whatever case may be, as an average American, right? As an average American, though, right? I'm looking at prison time, probation, bond, more than likely 2 out of the 3.
So if I can't commit
2 out of the 3,
let's just say let's put a number on it. We'll say $10.
Just
$10 checks, bad checks.
All right,
we'll put a number because it's different levels.
I'm still looking at probation and the fine. I might not be looking at jail time, but I'm looking at probation and the fine. Period. As an average, off your example, off of what I know, the information what I know. Now follow my example, right?
Now let's take it up a notch. $1 million.
I'm doing jail time. I'm doing 2 years minimum. That's over the threshold. Over 500,000, you mandatory jail time, 2 to 5 years.
So why is not? I know who you're going to go to.
So here's where I'm getting at, though, right? And this is where, to me, it's a double standard. I get held accountable for a $10 fraudulent check, right? I can't do nothing about it. I try to appeal. I might. Like, we're saying $10, and at the end of the day, it's going to cost you more in lawyer fees to.
That's why we use that number.
We know this, right? That's basic common sense. But just to use this as an example, right? As principle, right? I go through the whole process of appeal. I exhaust all my resources. As an average American, I'm stuck with probation in that fine, right? You get a person that's in a position of power. I'm not talking about political power. I'm talking about power, period. You could be a person in power in your own community, depending on what you do, how you give to your community, depending on whatever. You could be a pillar of your community, so right?
Is the people that ran BLM, are they in jail?
I don't know.
No, they're not.
I don't know. I stopped following the whole thing about being.
I didn't because it's interesting with all the real estate fraud that was done by them. Are they in jail? No. That's why I said let's put numbers on it. So going by your example, they should be in jail, right?
Correct.
But they're not.
They're
not going to jail.
It goes both folds. They're positioned. They got pulled. They have money. They are in position of power. They have influence. So even using them as an example, right?
Oh, and they didn't lose the properties.
And using them as an example, let everything that you said be correct as what you say, right? In my opinion, I don't care. You want to say that no man, no person is above the law, but you get a person that has influence, power, and money, and they can change that.
Actually, you know what? I wouldn't even say influence and power. I'll say this.
That, period.
There's people with money that we don't even know.
And they influence and change the law. Like the whole thing that's going on with the NRA right now.
Well, that all NRA is always going.
Like the NRA, like, come on, man. Like, how do you even have the right to influence a political proudness like that? How? What gives you the right?
The billions and billions of dollars they put in
and that's the double standard that's fucked up.
That's
the double standard that's fucked. Because me as an average American citizen can't do shit. But let me be a person with money, influence. Oh, I can change the world. Period. Your boy Elon Musk about to go to Martha Stewart jail. You hear about him, right?
Do y'all really think that?
I think he would.
Okay.
I think he is. I think he's gonna do a little bit of Fed time in a Martha Stewart facility. And the only reason why I bring that up is because that Martha Stewart's case is kind of set precedent. He did the exact same thing for what they accuse him of.
Yeah,
it's the exact same thing.
The whole thing is
what Martha Stewart did.
Martha has no influence over a lot of crap like he does. You got to remember that.
Double standard. Double standard.
There's no
proving my point right there. That's the double. If Elon Musk gets off of this and they got evidence, because you know the FTC ain't going to broadcast this if they ain't got a case, right?
No, they're going to broadcast. They will broadcast if they don't have a case. Because you know why?
They did that with Martha, but they had the case.
Right, exactly. They had a case. They're broadcasting right now because they're trying to get as much as they can. Because Elon Musk is a sneaky motherfucker.
He is.
So the fact that they're doing that, it's actually two different situations. Martha don't have Elon money. She never did. She never would have. I hate to say it.
Money, you're right. Influence,
even then, her influence isn't as great as we thought it was. It never was.
I'll still take Martha Stewart over motherfucking Elon.
We would because Martha applies to the people she always has applied to the people. She's always loved the people. When I say the people, I'm talking about everybody. Elon Musk. I'm gonna name off a couple people. Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, or actually not even he's dead now. Who's the guy charged? Jeff Bezos. Y'all see where I'm going? Tom Brady. You see where I'm going here? Michael. What the hell's the guy? The football player with the gap.
Michael Strahan.
Yeah, Strahan. You see the common denominator there? These are people that have great influence that he's buddy with. I didn't want to even go there with the former mayors of New York, former presidents, anything like that. We can go that way if we want to. It ain't
influence is the precedent to double standards in today's time. That's what I wanted to say. That's exactly what I wanted to say. The influence, power, and money. Those three.
Actually, the reason why I don't go to power and money, because if you want to say influence, if Martha Stewart had the influence you thought she did, she would have never did any time.
She took a plea
because she knew if she didn't, her influence was not enough to get her out of jail.
And honestly, I think she did what she did in the aspect
to protect the people,
to protect herself more than the people.
No, because she protected.
No, because if you think about what the plea agreement did, right, there were certain trade secrets, certain investment strategies that were going to come out, right? And in that plea agreement that she took, it allowed her to not only keep that, but it allowed her to also keep certain copyrights, certain patents, certain businesses that they were looking at.
But they don't give a damn about the businesses. They wanted the people.
She became a felon. She became a felon, so she be cool. Hey, and it worked. It worked.
That is actually what I was getting to.
It worked.
She was for all the people, but she didn't become cool with everybody
Oh, we were fucking with Martha before.
Not as hard.
Not as hard. I give you that.
Not as
we
hard.
were fucking with Martha though. We were fucking with Martha though. Like at the end of the day,
even when she did the theme party with the
we were fucking with Martha when she was campaigning with Bill Clinton. We were fucking with Martha.
But my whole thing with Martha, even when she had that party where she had black people dressing up to serve at her party, but they weren't really serving, and and they gave her a pass. Let somebody do that today.
That part right there. Martha smoked Snoop with weed on national TV. It was all over. Everybody in the hood was like, Martha, you my bitch.
And what's funny is Snoop, I bet that was Snoop behind that. I have no doubt about it. Snoop was behind it.
Here's the thing. Martha, what everybody does not know until she came out with this article in People magazine and read it. She's been smoking since the 80s.
It's like Willie Nelson been smoking
She's
forever.
been smoking.
It's like Willie Nelson been smoking forever, but black people ain't been on Willie Nelson until Snoop smoked.
Nah, before Snoop, I know OGs. That was fucking with Willie Nelson before Snoop came out.
What I'm trying to get to you as, until he smoked with Snoop, then everybody was like, oh, shoot, he's cooler than I thought he was. Because remember when he did Dukes of Hazzard, people were coming up. That's racist.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
I ain't gonna
lie to you. Before Snoop became popular, I was fucking with Jimmy Buffett and motherfucking Willie Nelson. Them motherfuckers was and Cheech and Chong. Those were the four motherfuckers as a kid. And I've been smoking weed since I was 15. Mama, forgive me. I'm sorry. But I've been smoking since I was 14, 15 years old. So, yeah, Cheech and Chong, Jimmy Buffett, motherfucking Willie Nelson.
But because you were in the crowd. But I'm talking to the general people. People weren't fucking with Willie Nelson, especially if Dukes of Hazzard came out. And once again, Snoop to the rescue. What he did, he sat there on national TV. Like, Snoop is a gateway to get to the hood. I hate to say it. He's that gateway. He's the gatekeeper.
You know who the new gatekeeper is for this new generation? I hate to say it. But she did her motherfucking bag and she crossed the fuck over. I hate her. I don't like. Well, hate is a bad word. I dislike her. I dislike her image, and I don't like her music. Sexy Red, crossing over. Like when you over here on Instagram
on WWE,
you getting your bag, girl. Go get your bag.
Shout out,
cross over.
Shout out
you
to
taking
PR.
Pictures with prominent, powerful, influential white people. You on WWE. You got Triple H making you custom
on
belts.
AEW.
You about to be on the WWE pay-per-view event. You like she getting her bag.
Ain't no hate.
She getting her bag.
But you know what's funny?
I don't like her music. I don't like what she represents for our culture.
Thank you. That's
really
what
don't.
I was getting to.
I don't.
But the whole thing is, they know what they're doing. Appealing to her is bringing in a crowd they've never had.
Or going back to the crowd that they had.
Or they may have never had.
Back in the early 90s, mid 90s, late 90s period. I'm gonna go to the late 90s period. What I know for a fact, including the group of people that I hung out with in school, wrestling was shit.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's not the same generation she's with. So you tell me she's
your
age? No, she's not. Think about it. She goes to elementary school singing her songs, and the elementary school's known word for word. They ain't in your generation or my generation. And more than likely, they know nothing about wrestling because all they're looking at hood stuff.
Now, knowing their parents, they probably on wrestling too. Yep.
I wouldn't say it.
Wrestling is a generational thing. You pass that shit on to your kids. Like me and my boys, they know about wrestling. Whether they choose to watch it now,
I think it's not about knowing about wrestling. It's about knowing about the content that's being created with wrestling, knowing the wrestlers, knowing the performers, knowing all of that.
What was the last time you watched wrestling?
Good question. Actually, no, I can't answer that. SummerSlam.
This past SummerSlam? Last year's SummerSlam?
Oh, wait, you said the last time I watched. Sorry. I'm thinking, actually, what did I just watch? Was it not King of the Ring?
They just had King and Queen of the Ring. They just had that.
So, yeah, I did watch a little bit of that then. But before that, after watching the beginning and end, I did watch WrestleMania both days. But that's because, remember I told you, I was like, I'm I'm getting back into it, trying to remember. You had to ask me what should I start watching? What y'all tell me? Watch SmackDown.
Because it will warm you up into what, like, if you jump into Raw right now, there's so much going on in Raw. Yeah. You'll get lost. There's a lot of different storylines, not to mention wrestlers are missing right now. They're injured, they're out. So you wouldn't
get the Brock Lesnar being blackballed, but that's a whole another situation.
I don't even want Brock Lesnar in WWE.
From what I understand, he's a very nasty individual.
He is.
From hearing other wrestlers, they're glad he's not there.
Yeah.
He tries to hurt you intentionally in the ring.
He's toxic in the WWE. And I'm not a fan of him in the UFC is one thing. I'm just not a fan.
I like him in the UFC because he got his ass whooped.
I'm not a fan of him being in WWE.
I want him in the UFC because he got his ass whooped for real.
Yeah, he did. But yeah, wrestling. I mean, as far as with the storylines, it keeps you interested in stuff like that. So there's a lot that's going down. They're about to have Clash at the Castle. Great matches that's about to happen. Jump in it this Friday. Get caught up. Start Friday, then go into Monday. And then you'll be able to, if you got any questions, I'll fill you in.
What's funny, I get like posts all the time. Watch some of the guys I follow on Instagram. They do nothing but wrestling. So that's why I said I need to get back into it, kind of. Not to the point where I'm going to sit there and rip my shirt off and all that stuff. Because I got the classic shirt.
Look, I saw this kid get out of the first grade, right? Hey, he get out the first grade, last day of school. Best thing ever. Best video I've ever seen in my life. He did a Stone Cold promo with two cans with two cartons of milk, right? He was all like, last day of school, best day ever. Why? Because I said so. Best promo ever. I'm like, yeah. Wrestling is a generational thing.
But what's funny though, is Stone Cold a recent? No, he's old school. So that's why I said you want to talk about generational, yeah. But we only pull the kids into what we know. We're not going to sit there with some of this new stuff. Because when I hate to say it, the reason why I got out of wrestling, and they were going left field, going way too left field, and none of it was.
I get that, and I fell off for a couple. But it like honestly,
now the Triple H is back in.
Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. Wrestling is wrestling, and if you're a diehard wrestling fan the way that I am,
it's gonna appeal to you. You're gonna find something to appeal to you.
It's gonna find something to appeal to you. Right. Regardless, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna watch. Like I've been to live events and fell asleep. I'm not gonna lie to you, I have, but
I don't want to be that dude.
I'm a wrestling dude. You know what I mean?
I'm not. That's another reason why I would not go to.
I took my brother-in-law to Royal Rumble when they had it out. Now, I shouldn't be bringing this up. My wife won't get mad. Until next week. She wanted to go, but she couldn't go because she had just had surgery. And I had just bought the tickets. So I have to find somebody to go in her place. So I got my brother-in-law to go. Man, we had the best fucking time ever, bro.
Oh, you do realize you better have a metal detector with you when you get home because you might be about to cut. You about to get the cut.
Until next week, folks. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Love you. Why you always got to bring up my shit, man?
You about to get the cut.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you is.
I run my household. I run my household.
We're still live.
Oh, shit. Till next
He's
week.
running to his household is what he was trying to say.
No, that's what the homie said to his wife. I'm like, oh, shit. I would never say that to my wife. Like,
yeah, bro, why did he say that? Like, she going to hear that and then, oh, yeah. Well, rest in peace to the homie. Pouring out. Actually, I ain't pouring nothing.
Oh, shit. I'm having problems in the stream. Oh, shit. This is not good. Babe, I love you. I didn't mean it.
It's not him. It's the interference. It's the interference of the interference. That's what we're having right now. So